This box will contain all the parts for your table. It's going to come with these nylon straps. You can use a pair of scissors or box cutter to open the straps. Once the box is open, you'll find the following parts. These are the lower leg assemblies, both left and right. This is the upper leg assembly, both left and right. This is the bracket that's going to connect the left leg with the right leg. This bracket will connect the lower part of the left leg and the right leg and also hold your foot pedal. This is your foot pedal. This is the motor drive belt. Inside your parts bag, you'll find the following accessories. Your parts drawer, the parts drawer rails, the 6 screws that are going to connect your rails to the bottom of the table. You'll find 4 table feet with the lock nut attached, and an assortment of bolts and nuts with washers. These are your foot pedal brackets. This is the foot pedal motor attachment bracket. These are the table leg brackets to assemble the upper and lower table together. The 2 little square ones are to hold your lower bracket to the bottom of the table, which holds the foot pedal. This is your connecting rod bracket. It's going to connect the foot pedal to your motor. The coarse threaded screws will be used to attach the stand to the wood table. The other 2 nuts and bolts are to attach your foot pedal to the foot pedal rail. Make sure you have all the parts before you start assembling your table. And finally, this is your table. We'll start by putting the feet onto the lower leg assembly. Use your fingertip as a guide. You're going to screw the leg in until it touches the tip of your finger. Then you're going to take the lock nut and secure it to the bottom of the table. Finally, you'll use a 19mm open-ended wrench to tighten the lock nut down securely. Make sure you hold the foot so that it doesn't keep spinning. Repeat this step for the other feet. Maintaining the orientation of the long and short side, you're going to slide the upper leg assembly into the lower leg assembly. Then you're going to use your bracket. Make sure that the curves match. You're going to hold it with one hand while you insert the bolts in with the other. Don't tighten it at this time. Keep it nice and finger tight so that you can make adjustments. Using a tape measure from the bottom of the foot to the top of the table, measure to approximately 29 inches. This is an average height. If you're taller or shorter, you can make adjustments accordingly. Just make sure that both legs are the same height. Once you have the right height, you can tighten it down with the 14mm socket or an open-ended wrench. And there you have it. Now just repeat the process for the other leg. If you're working by yourself, you can take the legs and place them backwards with the long side down. It's going to expose those 2 screw holes on each leg on the back side. Make sure that the openings of the legs are facing each other. Align the holes with the rear bracket and use 4 bolts to tighten it all down. You can do this with the legs standing or you can lay them down, whichever is easiest for you, but either way you can do it. Now take the table legs and the rear bracket that you've just assembled and place them upside down. You'll need to take the lower leg assembly bracket and place it face down onto the tables. You'll take this washer that's threaded, insert it in, And again, you'll use your index finger to hold it in place while you take the bolt and secure it down. Again, don't tighten it all the way just yet. Do this for the other side as well. Once both legs are secured, you're going to use a tape measure, and from the outermost part of the bracket, you'll make sure that it's approximately 3 inches away from the edge of the table. Once you have that, you can go ahead and tighten it down. Now that the table is secured, we'll insert the foot pedal brackets. These brackets will be facing each other.
The foot pedal has 6 slots where the brackets can be inserted into. The placement will depend on where it is most comfortable for you. The most common placement is in the second slot from the left and the second slot from the right. You can easily make adjustments once you build your machine. Install the first bracket, but don't tighten it all the way. Then grab your foot pedal and slide it onto the bracket. Attach the second bracket and slide the other side of the pedal. Once you have the 2 brackets in the foot pedal holes, go ahead and tighten them down using your Phillips screwdriver and your wrench.
The foot pedal should swing freely. The holes on the foot pedal should be facing away from you. Now you can take your foot pedal connecting rod bracket and put it on the center 2 holes facing the left side.
For now, you can just screw the bolt onto the nut by hand.
Depending on where you put the pedal will determine where you put this bracket. But for now, if you're assembling it like we are on this video, you can always just follow along. If you find that this position isn't suitable for you, you can always move the pedal either to the right or to the left and make the adjustments that you need. Once the bracket is centered, you can go ahead and tighten it down. Make sure not to over tighten the bolts. This completes the lower table assembly. Yours should look just like this. Using a piece of cardboard, place it down on a tabletop or on the floor. The front of your table should be facing you. The front of the table is going to have all the measurements and the rulers. All the bolt holes for the motor should be facing away from you. Gently lay the table down. Now place the stand on top of the table. The left edge of the rear side of the table should be 3 inches from the back and 1 3/4 inches from the side. Once you have that down, use a drill driver to use your self-tapping wood screw to attach the stand to the table. Make sure you don't over tighten it, as you can strip that screw. Once it reaches the bottom, stop. Using your tape measure, make sure that the front side of the stand is 1 3/4 inches from the edge of the table. Once that's done, you can use your self-tapping screw to hold it in place. Again, don't over tighten it. When securing the stand to the table on the right side, ensure that the edge of the stand is 3 inches from the rear of the table. In this video, you'll notice that the edge of the stand is 14 inches away from the edge of the table. Once that's done, you can use your self-tapping screw to hold it in place. Again, don't over tighten it. Now take the drawer and rails and place them somewhere centered in that 14-inch space that was left over. You can leave approximately 1/4 inch of space from the front of the drawer to the edge of the table. Using one of the 6 wood screws, secure the front side of one of the rails. Once you have that side secured, you're going to use your tape measure and make sure that the rear side is also the same distance away from the edge of the table. Once you have that measurement, you can use the rest of the screws to secure the rails to the bottom of the table. Let's unbox our motor. Use your box cutter or scissors to cut the straps and open the box. Upon opening the box, you might find an extra connecting rod. Put that aside. First, we'll have our servo motor with the potentiometer attached and all the cables. Next, we have our servo motor control unit. Finally, the attachment screws, nuts, and bolts. Inside the bag, you'll find 3 rubber grommets, 4 nuts, 3 washers, and 3 bolts. These are all used to secure the motor to the table. Cable ties with the corresponding wood screws. And you'll find the control motor operation manual. And this is everything that's in the box. Make sure it's all there before you start assembling, and remember to keep this in a safe place. With the table right side up, gently tap the lag bolts into the screw holes until they're flush with the surface. Once you're done, turn the table upside down. Insert the rubber grommets. And then place the motor onto the holes. Align the pulley so that it's oriented towards the center of the hole where the belt is going to go through. Once that's in, use your washer and nut to secure the motor to the table. You want to get a nice, snug fit. Don't over-tighten these as you will crush the rubber grommets. If you didn't align the pulley correctly this time, you can always loosen these screws and make adjustments accordingly. When attaching the motor control unit to the bottom of the table, leave approximately a ½ inch of space from the front edge of the table to the front edge of the control unit. Secure it with the 2 black screws. Again, don't over tighten them as you can strip them. Just get them nice and snug. There are 3 cables that need to be connected to the back of your control unit. The first one is a 4-prong linear cable. You'll plug that one into the bottom. Next, you have a serial bus cable. Make sure it snaps in all the way. Once you've inserted, use the two little screws to set it in place and keep it tight so it doesn't come off. Finally, take your 4-prong plug and insert it into the top holes. Once connected, take the rubber shroud and secure it over the plug. Using the 3 provided cable ties, secure the cables right in between the pulley hole and the edge of the table stand. If you need more cable ties, you can get them at the hardware store, or you can use zip ties to clean up your cables. If you're going to use more of these plastic cable ties from the hardware store, don't hammer the nail in all the way. Keep it slightly loose so that you can have mobility and you can make adjustments to your cables. You can either use these or you can use zip ties. These are not provided in the box, only the 3 that came inside your little Ziploc bag. Again, when securing these type of brackets, make sure you don't put the nail all the way down so that your cable can freely move inside and doesn't get crushed. Your final assembly should look like this. Inside your motor box, there was one set of connecting rods that were short, and inside your table, there was another set that was long. We're gonna use the long connecting rods. You're gonna disassemble the nuts and bolts from the connecting rods and also loosen the joining plate from the connecting rods. You can separate these. We're gonna use them again, so don't put it too far. Take the nut and the lock washer, and you're gonna put it on the inside of the connecting rod bracket on the foot pedal. The lock washer goes first, followed by the nut. And you'll use a 10mm open-ended wrench or a socket to get it nice and tight. Don't over tighten. Now take the connecting rod and place it from the outside in to your servo motor lever. It's gonna go on the outermost hole. Secure it with the 10mm open-ended wrench. Now take the joining bracket and slide it into one end of the connecting rods, then combine both connecting rods and slide them together. And once you have the foot pedal adjusted to the height that you desire, you can lock them in place. Once you have it connected, make sure that the servo motor articulates when you press the foot pedal. Finally, if you haven't done so already, take the last 4 remaining bolts and secure the upper table leg to the lower table leg and get it all nice and tight. And that completes your table assembly. Using the motor control unit. First thing you want to do is turn it on with the red switch on the right-hand side. Should you need to change the direction of your machine the way the motor is running, you would hit the P and the plus at the same time and go 1 for forward motion. Remember to hit S for save when you're done with the calibration. Once it's on, you might get an ER01 error message. This simply means that there is an accessory sensor that is not installed on this motor. It is not needed for your machine, therefore we don't need to install it. So just ignore that message. Your machine is going to operate just fine without it. If you want to lower the speed, you're going to hit the minus button. If you want to increase the speed, you'll hit the plus button.